Hi, welcome to Writing Time. You know, good authors, when they're writing their stories, they are always trying to find ways to make their stories better. And sometimes they have other people read their story and give them feedback. Now, feedback doesn't mean they did a bad job. It just means that the person who's reading the story is going to give them some advice on how to make the story better. Well, I'm going to be reading your story after we're done, and I'm going to be giving you some feedback. And here I have a paper that I'm going to use to kind of show you about what I'm looking for. This is called a rubric, and it's kind of a little chart. And over here, it says small movement narrative. Our story is a personal narrative, and I wanted you to narrow it down to just one small moment in time. And so I'm going to check. Is that what you did? Did you write a personal narrative about a small moment in time? Or did you write one, but it's not narrowed down? It's telling about a lot of things. Or is your story not a personal narrative? Don't worry if you haven't narrowed yours down or if you don't think it's the way it's supposed to be. We're going to work on this. We're going to keep looking at our story. We're going to keep making changes and we'll get there. Okay? And then here's the lead. The lead of your story is the beginning of your story. Did you write a very interesting beginning to your story that kind of grabs the attention of the reader? Did you write one and it's okay? Or does your story not have one at all? This is what we're going to be working on tomorrow. Right? Here are paragraphs. Paragraphs in your story kind of divide your story up to tell, like, as time passed, the different things that you did when you were in Florida. Or did the topic change and you're talking about something else? Or is there a different person who's talking? Did you divide your story up into paragraphs, but maybe there's some errors in there? Or did you not use them at all? It's just all in one story. Don't worry if you haven't done this. We're going to learn how to do it. You just haven't done it yet. Right? How about transitions? Transitions are when you change from one thing to the next. Does your story change even? Does it just have some? Or did you not do any at all? And how about dialogue? Dialogue is when your characters are speaking. Did you use some dialogue in your story to show what the different people were saying? Did you use some, but maybe not exactly in the right way? Or did you not put any at all? Don't worry if you don't have any in there. We just don't have any yet. We're going to work on that part next week. How about details? Did you put a lot of details in your story? If someone was reading your story and they closed their eyes, could they make a picture in their head about what you were doing? Did you use just some? Or maybe not hardly any details at all. You just had a very basic story. All right, then authors really like to use exciting words. Did you pick exciting words that could show what was happening instead of just telling what was happening? Oh yeah, authors like to use strong and interesting words. Do you have some of those in your story? What about, did you just have some regular words, just kind of the same normal words that you use all the time? And that's what this last one says too. How about the ending of your story? Did you think of a very interesting ending? Do you just have a regular one? Or no ending at all? You just stopped writing? Don't worry, we're going to work on the endings. We're going to work on making something interesting there. And how about your spelling? We'll go back through your story to make sure that you have words spelled right. So it says your spelling is like at a second grade level. Or do you have some spelling mistakes that should have been fixed? Or are there lots of spelling mistakes? And the same thing with punctuation, periods, question marks, exclamation points. Did you use them in the right way? Or did you make a couple mistakes? Or did you make a lot of mistakes with that? Well, we are going to be working on all these things before your story is all the way finished. So don't worry if you think, oh, I didn't do that. We're going to be working on it. In fact, tomorrow, we're going to go back up to the top and we're going to think about the lead. That's the beginning of our story. Is the beginning of our story very interesting and it makes people want to just keep reading. All right, think about the beginning of your story and see if you could come up with any ideas about how to make it super interesting. We'll talk about this part again tomorrow. What I'd like for you to do is spend a little time in your writing journal. And you don't have to write on your story about Grandpa, but I would like for you to write about 15 minutes about whatever you pick. Have fun writing. Bye.